It started with a notification, just a regular ping on my phone. Nothing strange, or so I thought. A friend tagged me in a photo on social media. At first I smiled, probably an old memory or something funny. But when I opened it, my heart stopped. It was a picture of me. Same eyes, same haircut, same jacket I wore last week. But the problem was, I wasn't in that photo. The background was a place I'd never been. The people around him? Strangers. I stared at it for minutes. Zoomed in, zoomed out. Still me, or someone who looked exactly like me. I laughed at first, told myself it was some weird lookalike, a crazy coincidence. But deep down, something felt wrong. So I clicked on his profile. I wish I hadn't. His name? Same as mine. His hometown? Same birthday. Same job title. Everything about him was me. And yet, I had never seen him before in my life. Or at least, I didn't think I had. But that photo, his eyes, they weren't just looking at the camera. They were looking at me, as if he already knew I'd find him. As if he'd been waiting. You said, I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face. My face, but not quite. It was like looking in a mirror, except the reflection was slightly off. Too perfect, too calm, like he knew something I didn't. I went back to his profile, scrolled through every post, every picture. It was like watching my own life through someone else's camera. There he was, smiling with friends I didn't know, standing in front of places I'd never been, wearing clothes I owned. And that's when I noticed something that chilled me. The photos were recent, some even taken yesterday, but I didn't remember posing for any of them. I clicked on one post. Great day at work. Finally got the promotion. That's strange. I just got promoted last week. How would he know that? Plus, I opened another. Hanging out at my favorite coffee spot. Best chai ever. Same coffee shop I go to. Same table. Same cup. I felt dizzy. He wasn't just copying my life. He was living it. Every small detail. Things I never posted about. Things only I would know. It was like he was one step ahead of me. Like he knew my every move. Then I saw a post from 5 minutes ago. Sometimes it's better not to look for answers. No picture. Just words. But the location tag? Right outside my building. I jumped up and ran to the window. Street empty. But I swear, for a split second, I saw someone step into the shadows, wearing my jacket. The next morning, I told myself it was just stress. Maybe I was working too much. Maybe I was just tired. But deep down, I didn't believe that. Something was wrong. I got dressed and walked to work. Tried to act normal. But everywhere I went, I felt like someone was watching me. Not just staring, studying me. At the coffee shop, the barista smiled and said, "Back again? Same order." I froze. This was my first time here all week. I forced a laugh. Yeah, same order. She handed me the drink, but her eyes looked confused, like something didn't match. As I walked out, I checked my phone. Another notification. New post from him. Great coffee this morning. Always a good start. A photo. Same cup. Same shop. Posted just 10 minutes ago. Before I even got there. I walked faster. Heartbeat racing. Checking every reflection in every window. And then I saw it. In the mirrored glass of a store window. A figure behind me. Wearing my clothes. Walking just like me. I spun around. Nothing. Sidewalk empty. But when I turned back to the window, the reflection was still there. Smiling. And it wasn't me. That night, I locked every door and window. Twice. Maybe 3 times. I wasn't just scared. I felt hunted. My phone buzzed again. Another message. From him. "Why are you running?" No name. No profile pic. Just the message. I didn't reply. Instead, I went back to his page. only to find it gone, deleted, vanished, like it had never existed. But I knew what I saw, and now there was no proof, no one to believe me. I opened my laptop, started searching for anything. Lookalikes, identity theft, online doppelgangers. Most results were just stories, urban legends, until I found a thread, hidden deep on a forum. Title: "He took my life and no one noticed." I clicked it. The person wrote about someone who looked just like them, acted like them, slowly replaced them. Friends stopped responding. Workplace shut them out. Even family acted like they didn't exist. The post ended with one sentence: "If you're reading this, you're next." I backed away from the screen, my hands shaking. A new email popped up. No subject, no name, just a video file. I hesitated, then clicked play. It was my bedroom, filmed from inside. The camera panned slowly and stopped on me, sleeping right now. But I was wide awake, which meant whoever filmed it was still here. You said, I didn't breathe for at least 10 seconds. I just stared at the screen. That was me, lying in bed. Same blanket, same shirt I wore to sleep the night before. But I was sitting at my desk, watching it happen. The video wasn't old. It wasn't recorded days ago. It was live. I spun around, heart pounding, and stared at the door to my bedroom. It was closed, but now it felt too quiet, like the air itself was holding its breath. I stood up slowly, every part of me trembling. I reached for the door handle. My fingers barely touched the metal. Then I heard it, a soft creak. Inside the room, someone shifting their weight. I stepped back. Whatever was in there, it wasn't me. I grabbed my phone and called the police. I don't even remember what I said. Probably something like, "There's someone in my apartment. Please, hurry." They told me to wait outside. So I ran. Didn't look back. Didn't care. I stood on the street, barefoot, freezing, watching the windows of my own apartment, like they belonged to someone else. 15 minutes later, a patrol car pulled up. 2 officers went inside. They searched every room, every closet, even the crawl space. Nothing. No one. But they found something. Set up behind the vent in my room. A small hidden camera. Wide. Pointing right at my bed. The officer asked, "Do you live alone?" I nodded. He frowned. "Then why are there 2 toothbrushes in your bathroom?" I didn't answer, because I already knew the truth. Someone wasn't just watching me. He was living with me. I didn't go back inside. I couldn't. Not after what they found. Not after realizing he was already in. The cops chalked it up to a stalker. Told me to stay with a friend. File a report. Change my locks. But locks don't work when the person trying to get in already knows how you think, how you move, what you fear. He's not just following me, he's me. That night, I crashed on my friend Marcus's couch. Didn't tell him the full story. Just said someone broke in. He gave me a weird look. "Wait, you already told me this yesterday." My chest tightened. "I did." "Yeah, you texted me last night. Said you were fine now." He held up his phone. There was my name, my profile picture. "Thanks for letting me crash, Marcus. Just needed to clear my head." Sent at 2:17 a.m. while I was still asleep. I asked, "Can I see the message thread?" He handed me the phone. It wasn't just one text. It was a whole conversation. Casual, friendly, normal. The creepy part? The typing style was exactly like mine. Even the way I joke. Marcus looked confused. "You feeling okay?" I handed him back the phone, forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired." I barely slept. Around 3 a.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway. Marcus's apartment has creaky wood floors. Every step groans. But Marcus was snoring on the other couch. The steps stopped right outside the door. My heart thudded. I sat up, holding my breath. Silence. Just one gentle knock. I didn't move, didn't answer. I just stared at the door and whispered to myself, he found me again. The next morning, I pretended everything was fine. I thanked Marcus, told him I felt better, that I'd go home, change my locks, maybe talk to someone. He nodded, still half asleep. If I could tell, he was starting to think something was off. I didn't go home. Instead, I went to the library, somewhere public, quiet, with no cameras on me, at least not that I could see. I sat at a computer and created a fake profile. New name, no pictures. I typed one thing into the search bar, my own name, hundreds of results. Most were nothing, old school records, tag posts, but one profile stood out. No friends, no posts, just a profile picture, wearing the same hoodie I had on right now, taken from the back, like someone had been standing right behind me. I checked the account details. It was made 2 hours ago, while I was still asleep at Marcus's place. I leaned back in my chair, hands cold. He wasn't just copying me anymore. He was tracking me in real time, like he knew where I'd be, what I'd do. I opened the message inbox on that account. One unread message from a user with no name, no photo. You can't hide from yourself. And attached was a photo of me, sitting at the library computer, taken just seconds ago. I looked around, slowly, eyes scanning every face, every corner, and that's when I saw him. 2 rows down, head down, typing, same hoodie, same hair. But when he looked up, he didn't flinch. He just smiled. My smile. I left everything behind. The computer, my bag, even my phone. I walked out of the library like a ghost, barely breathing, hoping I was invisible. But you can't hide from yourself. And he was me. I wandered the streets for hours. No direction, just moving. Every time I saw my reflection in a window, I jumped, because I didn't know if it was really me anymore. I found an old diner and ducked inside. Sat in the back corner, facing the door. Ordered coffee just to look normal. The waitress glanced at me and said, "You're back again?" Same seat. I froze. I'd never been here before. I played along. Yeah, I like this spot. She smiled and walked off. I felt sick. I checked the bathroom mirror. Just me. Same tired eyes. But as I turned to leave, someone had written on the bathroom wall, in black marker, "One of you has to go." My hands started shaking. I walked back to my seat, but the coffee was gone, and in its place, a folded napkin. I opened it slowly. One word, written in my handwriting. Soon, I looked up. The front door of the diner swung shut. Someone had just left. I ran out into the street, but it was too late. The crowd swallowed him. Swallowed me. He wasn't chasing anymore. He was playing. And somehow, he was always one move ahead. I didn't go home. I couldn't. Home didn't feel like mine anymore. Instead, I checked into a cheap motel under a fake name. Paid in cash. No ID. No trail. I covered the peephole. Shoved a chair under the doorknob. Turned off all the lights. And just sat there. Alone. In the dark. Trying to think. Trying to breathe. I needed to understand what this was. Not just some stalker. Not identity theft. This was deeper. Personal. Paranormal. He didn't just know where I was. He knew what I was thinking. What I feared. At 3:03 a.m., the motel phone rang. I hadn't told anyone I was here. I let it ring. Twice. 3 times. Then silence. But a second later, a soft knock on the door. I didn't move, didn't speak. I just listened. Then I heard it, my own voice. Open the door. I know you're in there. You can't run forever. It was calm, controlled, like I was giving myself a warning. I backed away, heart hammering. Then a slip of paper slid under the door. Just 2 words scrawled in ink. Almost ready. I didn't know what that meant, but deep down, something told me he wasn't here to take my life. He was here to replace it. The next morning, I checked out of the motel before the sun came up. Didn't shower, didn't sleep. I just left. Tried to vanish before he could find me again. But that's the thing. He always knew where I was. I took a bus to a different part of the city. Somewhere crowded. No cameras. No connections. I walked into a small internet cafe. Paid cash. No questions asked. Sat at the back. Opened a browser. Typed doppelgänger myths. Spiritual possession. Can someone steal your life? Most of it was nonsense. Until I found a thread. Hidden. Title. The copy watches first. Then walks. Then becomes. The post was written like a warning. They don't just appear. They grow from you. Every choice you make, they make. Until the day they no longer need you. Someone had commented below. If yours starts showing up in photos, it's already too late. I opened my camera roll. Started scrolling. At first, nothing. Just selfies. Random shots. Then I saw it. A photo I never took. Me asleep. From outside my bedroom window. Then another. Me on the subway, looking at my phone. And another. Last night, at the motel. Me standing at the sink, brushing my teeth. But I was alone. The door was locked. And I never saw a flash. Never heard a sound. He'd been with me the whole time. Watching. Recording. Practicing. And I knew what came next. He didn't just want my face. He wanted my life. I left the internet cafe without looking back. I could feel him, close, like a shadow just behind my shoulder. Every time I turned a corner, I expected to see my own eyes staring back at me. I needed answers. So I did something stupid. I logged back into my real social media account. Just for a second. Immediately, a message popped up. From me. Getting tired yet? No profile photo. No typing bubble. Just that one message. Then another. You can end this. All you have to do is stop running. I slammed the phone down. Because deep inside me, a part of me was starting to agree. I was exhausted. Every second felt like a countdown. Like my mind was splintering. Then something even worse happened. A new email. From a job I'd never applied for. Subject line. Welcome to your new position. Sender, my own name. Attached was a PDF of a signed contract. My signature. My name. My ID. All of it, perfect. He was already taking over. Not just online, but legally. I called the company listed. Tried to explain. They said, you already spoke to us in person. Then they hung up. I stared at my reflection in a store window. Eyes sunken. Skin pale. Was I disappearing? Was he becoming more real than me? That night, I made a choice. If he wanted me, the real me, then he'd have to face me directly. No more hiding. No more running. I was going to find him and stop him before he erased me completely. I started where it all began, my apartment. The one place I swore I wouldn't go back to. If he was trying to take my life, that was the finish line. The throne. The final piece. I waited until midnight. Took the back stairwell. Kept my hood up. Didn't make a sound. The hallway felt colder than I remembered. Lights flickered. Buzzed softly. I stood at my door. My key still worked. That scared me, because it meant he hadn't needed to break in. He belonged here now. I stepped inside slowly. The apartment looked perfect, cleaner than I left it. Dishes washed, lights dimmed, my favorite playlist quietly playing in the background. He was settling in, living my life. That's when I heard it, a shower running. He was here, right now. I tiptoed down the hallway, heart pounding so hard I could barely hear my thoughts. I stood in front of the bathroom door. Steam leaked from under the crack, and behind it, my own humming, my voice. I reached for the doorknob, then pushed. The door creaked open, and there he was, back-turned, shampoo in his hair, completely unaware, until he stopped humming, and spoke without turning around. "Took you long enough." My breath caught. I couldn't move. Then he turned slowly, smiling, my face, my eyes, but colder, like they didn't need a soul anymore. "I've done it," he said. "You can rest now." I stepped back, shaking my head. "No, you're not me." He stepped out of the shower, dripping, smiling. "I'm better." And that's when I realized he didn't just want to replace me. He wanted me to give up willingly, to step out of my own life, and let him stay. You said, I ran, out the door, down the stairs, into the freezing night. I didn't look back. Couldn't, because if I did, I might hesitate, and if I hesitated, he'd win. My mind was a mess. I couldn't think straight, couldn't tell what was real anymore. Was I the original, or was he? Had he already convinced the world? Had he already convinced me? I needed proof. Something only I would know. Something he couldn't fake. I went to my childhood home. Middle of the night. Pounded on the door until the porch light came on. My mom opened it slowly, half asleep, wrapped in a robe. She stared at me, like she was trying to figure something out. And I asked, "Mom, do you know who I am?" She blinked, then smiled. "Of course I do. You just called earlier." I froze. "No, I didn't." She nodded slowly, confused. "You said you were coming by in the morning, that you missed us." My legs went weak. He'd gotten to her too. To them. He was one step ahead again. Always one step. I walked away. Into the street. Into the dark. I couldn't trust anyone. Not even my own memories. Because now, I didn't know if I was trying to save myself, or if I'd already been replaced. Maybe the moment I saw him online, the switch had already started. Maybe I was just the echo, the leftover. The question wasn't, who is the real me? The question was, does it even matter anymore? I found myself back at the park, the same one from the photo, where I saw him watching me. Only now it was empty, so like the whole world was holding its breath. I sat on the same bench, midnight wind brushing my face. I needed to end this, not with running, not with hiding, but with a choice. Then, without warning, he sat down beside me. No sound, no footsteps, just there, like a reflection stepping out of glass. He didn't speak at first. He just smiled, like he already knew how this would end. "You feel it, don't you?" he said. "The split, the tearing. You're fading." I clenched my fists. Why me? Why this? He looked up at the stars, as if they held the answer. "Because you're simple, forgotten, unremarkable." His voice softened, like he was being kind. "You wasted your life. I won't." I stared at him. Same face, same voice, but no soul, no pain behind the eyes. He didn't want my memories. He wanted my future. "I'm not giving it to you," I said quietly. He chuckled. "You already did." I stood up, backing away, but he didn't move. "Go ahead. Keep running," he said. "So you'll be the one fading in mirrors." And then, just like that, he was gone. Vanished. Like smoke. But in my pocket, something buzzed. My phone. One new message. For me. Ready to switch when you are. And that's when I realized the fight wasn't out there anymore. It was inside me. Every thought. Every breath. And if I let go, even once, he'd step in. And I'd be the ghost. I stopped sleeping. Stopped eating. Because every time I closed my eyes, I saw him living my life. Smiling with my friends. Wearing my clothes. Typing messages I didn't remember writing. He was getting stronger. I could feel it. And I was slipping. Like my mind was a thread unraveling. I tried recording myself. Leaving notes. Setting alarms. But every morning I woke up with different words written in my own handwriting. You don't need to fight. We are the same. Just let go. I looked in the mirror. My reflection blinked before I did. I screamed, punched the glass. It shattered, but the face looking back didn't flinch. I was losing. One final message. An email. No subject. No body. Just a video file. I clicked. It was me, sitting on that same park bench, looking into the camera, and he spoke. You had your time. You wasted it. Now it's mine. Then the camera zoomed in, closer, closer, until it wasn't just a video anymore. It was a reflection, a live feed of me, right now, filming me, watching me, and behind me in the frame, a shadow, rising, moving closer. I turned around, but no one was there, because maybe, just maybe, he was already inside. I don't know if I'm still me anymore. Some days I wake up and everything feels wrong. The toothbrush is in the wrong place. The laces on my shoes are tied differently. My own voice sounds like someone doing an impression of me. And sometimes I catch myself smiling, for no reason, like he's still in there, waiting, stretching, getting comfortable. The truth? Maybe he won. Maybe I'm what's left, a ghost of the original. Or maybe I am him, and I've forgotten what it was like to be real. The messages stopped. The sightings too. People treat me like I've always been here. But I know, something shifted, something cracked. Now, when I look in the mirror, I don't blink at all. I just smile. Because whoever I was, he's gone. And I've never felt more alive. Complete.